So this is kind of like a memory video so that like when I'm having a bad day or whatever, I'm like, oh, this is a good day and I can like go off this. So today is the 16th of February and it's 3:57 p.m., almost 4. So I woke up this morning and it had snowed. It's been snowing for 2 days. And I got an alert from Castleton saying it's a snow day, which is great because, well, kind of, because if I were in my dorm, I would have just gone back to bed and just, the day would have been whatever. But that didn't happen because they were like, if you have online classes, then you have class. And I was like, oh my God. So whatever. So I woke up at 9 and I had my voice lesson at 10. And Evan had texted me and she was like, hey, if you want to do your lesson, we can, or if you don't want to, like, it's whatever. And I was like, I could say no, but if I say no, I'm going back to bed and I'm probably not going to wake back up. So I'm going to say yes. And I did. And it was a great lesson. Oh my God, this is the second lesson in a row that I've had like a major breakthrough. So last lesson, we did like the Julia Child voice for Isiba and I hit that high G with ease, which is huge because every time I do it, I'm like, this week we did more of that and we worked on the prayer and it was really nice because I was like, I'm really making an improvement because when I first started with her, she was like, you're not progressing the way that you should, which means you're not practicing enough. And now I'm just going for it and it's so great. And we started talking about my senior recital, which is coming up in the fall, which I'm really excited for because, oh my God, that dress is going to be insane. So I was like, can I do a musical theater piece? And she was like, you read my mind because we're actually going to have a master class next week and she wants me to do a musical theater piece. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm so excited. And she was like, yes, you can do a musical theater piece for your senior recital. And I was like, oh my God, that's great. And I was like, can I do a duet? And she's like, yeah, you can. And because you're only supposed to have one musical theater piece, she's like, if you do a duet, you could have two because you could do a solo and then you could do a duet and that would be two different things. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm like really excited and I'm like talking with Megan about it. She has to ask Beth. So we're working with that and it's going to be great. So I wrote down, I have to go through this, but I wrote down like all my favorite musicals and I'm going to like go through and like figure out everything. I'm really excited because I get to like pick what I want to work on. Oh my God, like I actually get to pick my music because she picks my music. Evan, any lesson teacher is like, here, you're going to sing this. And now it's like, so that was really good. And then after that lesson, I was supposed to have conducting. And I read my chapter last night. I stayed up really late to do it. And I was like, I'm going to do this. It's going to be great. And I sat on Zoom for like 2 minutes and I was like, where is everybody? And then I was like, oh my God, it's a hybrid class, which means that there's people on campus and there's people like me that are home. So anything that's hybrid and it's a snow day, you don't meet because how is the teacher going to get there? So if it was like an asynchronous class, you would still do your whatever. Or if you were completely online, you would still meet, that kind of thing. So I was like, okay. So that happened. And I was like, okay, great. So now I have time to do my homework. And I was like, okay, I'm in Touchstones. I need to do this paper. And I'm like almost done. So I was like, okay. So I worked on it. I went on it and I was like, I got to 500 words. I got to over 500 words. And I was like, this is great. So I met with McKenna, my tutor, and I was like, you know, does this look good? She goes, it looks great. We were a little worried about the in-text citations because I don't own the book and it's a poem, so they have lines. And I own the zip file for like MP3. No, for like an audiobook. And I was like, I'll contact my teacher, Mr. Bill, who's great. This is also the Touchstones class that is like, you know, you get to decide what you want to do, and it irks me to no end. But I was like, okay, so I hung up with her, and I was like, I don't want to email him because, like, I want, like, straight answers. So I found his number and I called him, and we had a great conversation. And he was like, as long as I know, like, where you're getting it from, you're good to go. So basically, I've been stressing about this paper for days. Finally did it, and, like, I was overthinking it. I'm always overthinking. And so that was great. And then I was like, okay, so the other thing is that you submitted an announcement saying there's people that aren't where they should be and you should consider dropping the class. And I was like, oh my God, what if I'm one of those people? Because I don't know what's going on. And Canvas says I have an 80%, which is great. And I told him that, and he goes, don't worry about what your percentage is. You need to, like, rack up your points. And I was like, okay. And he goes, you need to be in between 200 and 300 points right now. Like, that is where you should be. And I was like, okay, well, do you know how many I have? He goes, 375. I was like, oh, yay. So I'm like, I'm doing great. We're great. So there was that. Oh, we also had a Dig Evolution workshop today for Didgeridoo. It was so cool. The guy was from Australia. He sounded like Harry Potter. And we had to take a, like, paper towel roll, which I didn't have, but it just had to be like a long cardboard tube, and I had wrapping paper tubes left over from Amanda's birthday. So I was like, ooh. So I decorated it, and I did, you know, whatever. I can't make a freaking sound out of it. And I was like, okay. And everyone else is, like, making these, like, great sounds. And I was like, something's going on. I was like, I think the hole is too big. And I showed him. He goes, yep. And then he showed me this, like, the people in Australia, like, they take beeswax and they, like, put it around if it's too big. Because you have to with your lips. And you can't do that when it's too big. So, because there can't be any air escaping. So, I did that. Still didn't make a sound. Like, I put, like, tape around it, whatever. But I had fun learning about it and whatever, and nobody can hear me. So, I just kind of sat there and pretended. It was great. I learned a lot. So, yeah. So, that was great. Yeah, I think that's about everything about today. Yeah, it was just a great day, and I had time to, like, walk around, because I sit at my computer all day, and it's like, I'm just so done. So it was nice to, like, get up and, like, take a break and walk around. Yeah. So if in the future I'm watching this and I'm having a bad day, there are good days. So remember that. Good things come. You may be stuck in a hole, but, you know, something's going to come and something's going to pull you out. You just have to keep going. And smile. That's all.